Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. So we're on to Surah Al Ikhlaas, and as a reminder, if you haven't watched the previous videos, then it's going to be really difficult for you to understand the theory that we're trying to implement into our recitation of the Qur'an. So that theory obviously being itmaam al-harakat and the makhaarij and huroof. So the first thing that you need to do is, if this is the first video that you're watching, is to go back and watch the series of 7 lessons on Surah Al-Fatiha, and then we've also covered Surah Al-Nas and Surah Al-Falaq in order to guide you through the steps in how to implement the rules that we've covered of theory into the recitation of the Qur'an. So today we're looking at Surah Al Ikhlaas, obviously one of the a great surah in Qur'an, which is equal to 1/3 of the Qur'an in terms of reward when recited. So let's make an effort in trying to make sure that we can able to recite it correctly with the rules that we've covered so far. So Surah Al Ikhlaas. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. So 4 small verses, and what we're going to do is just the same as the previous lessons, is to go through each verse slowly and to break down, and for us to understand the theory behind what we're trying to do in our recitation, and understanding where the itmaam al-harakat is, what we should be moving in terms of our jaw going, upper jaw going up, lower jaw going down, or pouting our cheeks from the side, ooh, and explaining where the makhaarij or the points of articulation are for the letters, in order to make sure that we have the correct pronunciation when we are reciting. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And this we've covered many times. The basmala, the scene being elongated, ha, opening of the or the upper jaw going up when we say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, almost like we're smiling when we're saying at the end of the basmala, so we can eradicate any of the sound that comes from the nasal passage, because from the nasal passage you only pronounce the noon and the meme. So Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And that check that you can do if you're reciting anything from the nose is to just close off the nasal passage to make sure that there's nothing coming from the nasal passage. So towards the end of the verse, or normally at the end of the verses, is a good way to check that. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. No difference to the sound that's being created. And if you are reciting from the nose, then what you find is that you find this sound, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And so there's a difference, and you can tell that something is coming from the nose which shouldn't be, because the noon and the meme are the only sounds that are created in the nasal passage. So moving on to verse number 1. Qul, and now this is similar to the previous 2 surahs that we've done already. So Qul, Qu, making sure that you pronounce the dhamma on the qaf, pouting your cheeks at the same time. Qu, Qul, not before and not after, at the same time, simultaneously. Qul, and then bringing back the lips so that you have the lam that is audible. Qul, hu, ha, pronounced from the bottom of the throat, ha. It's the deeper of the ha, is a clear air. Ha is a little bit, is at the bottom of the throat, and a deeper sound. Qul huwa, huwa, wow is pronounced from the lips. Wa. قل هو الله هو الله أحد. Now on the lam you have a shadda, and we've explained many times already before that the shadda is two letters. So here we're pronouncing two lams, the first of which is a sukoon, so therefore the lips must go back to the makhaarij of the lam, and the lam is pronounced from the edge of the tongue, from canine to canine tooth almost. Your edge of the tongue goes up and touches the gums that are there. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ هُوَ اللَّهُ, and the opening of the upper jaw going up. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ, open, hu, and again your lips are doing the work and the sound is created from the bottom of the throat. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ, from the bottom of the throat as well, ha from the middle of the throat, and then you've got the dal, which ends at the end of the verse with a qalqala. أحد أحد قل هو الله أحد. Second verse, Allah Allah, onto the lam, Allah, opening of the mouth, Allahu Samad. The sad here has got a shadda again, so you're pronouncing two sads, the first of which has a sukoon, so our lips go back, and then we pronounce the second one. Allahu Samad, Samad. So your tongue is just, for the sad, your tongue is just below the center incisors on the bottom. Allahu Samad. And one mistake that general people make when they say the sad is there's a puffing of the cheek. Allahu and there's a puffing of the cheek. You don't want any puffing of the cheek when you sing sad. So Allahu Samad, Allahu Samad. Sad, meme, and then the dal at the end of the verse with a qalqala. So we're just kind of echoing that sound. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدُ. Lam, make sure that you stay on that meme, similar to what we were doing previously with the lam, similar to what we done in Surah Al-Fatiha when you said an'amta. So that is the duration that's required to stay on the lam. Lam yalid, ya from the middle of the tongue, yalid. Then the qalqala here, because the dal has a sukoon on it, qalqala meaning that we echo that sound. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. You, again, your lips have to do the work with pushing the sides of the cheeks and rounding your lips. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. And then the last verse, wa lam, again making the lam clear, wa lam yakullahu. Here you have the noon, it joins on to the lam. The noon is silent. We're pronouncing two lams. Because it's two lams, for the first one we need to go back and make sure we go to the makhaarij of the lam. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. You're already here, hu, ku, fu. So you don't need to bring the lips back at this whilst you're reciting those letters. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. And remembering the fa is pronounced when you have the central incisors touching the wet part of the lips inside. And then at the end of the verse again, you have the qalqala or the echo of the dal when you're ending on it. So, لَمْ يَلِدْ وَلَمْ يُولَدْ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. And that is, inshaAllah, the way that we are able to recite Surah Al Ikhlaas. I'll recite it again, and inshaAllah you can practice and improve your recitation. Jazakallah khair. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد صدق الله العظيم